Hi everyone. Welcome to today's session titled New Age Investing with Small Cases. So in this session, we are going to talk about a very interesting product that is out there in the market called small cases. A lot of you might have heard of it recently, and you might be wondering what it is as a product and whether it would suit your investment requirements. So in this session, we will specifically talk about what small cases are, how you can go about investing in a small case, what are the key benefits of opting for small case as a product to start your investment journey? What are the features available which will make it very easy for you to start your investment process? And we'll also take a look at how we as investors can curate our own stock baskets and use our own philosophies and strategies that we have in our mind to go ahead and curate a portfolio of our own. So that will be the agenda of today's session. It will be kind of a hands-on session. It's not going to be, restricted to one sort of a presentation. In the due course of the session, once we are done with the normal course of the presentation, we will be going live on the platform and we will explore some of these functionalities on the platform one by one, just like how we experience it as regular investors. So without further ado, what we would like to do is actually start the session. So in today's aptly named webinar, which is called New Age Investing with Small Cases, before we start talking about what small cases are, let us first try to understand what makes a great portfolio. So these are all time-tested things. We have already there's a lot of information out there in the market about what makes a great portfolio, how it is exactly built, what is the underlying philosophy with which it has been designed, and so on. But we as investors, we have been bombarded with that information so much that we have become completely oblivious to it. And we no longer, when we are curating portfolios or when we decide to invest in the markets, in spite of so much knowledge available, a lot of us actually tend to ignore the basic principles of investing. So first we will try to understand what are the core philosophies of investing, and we will try to see how small case fits that particular bracket very well. So when we talk about constituents of a great portfolio, it could be any portfolio when you're investing in the markets. The first concept is diversification. No matter what anyone says, if you are not diversified, chances are that you are inevitably going to get stuck at one time or the other when either that particular sector in which you have exposure doesn't do well, or if one particular stock that you have exposure to doesn't do well. So diversification into different sectors and into different stocks has been a time-tested theory. And this is the first component of what makes a great portfolio. The second one is with respect to risk management. So is it enough for us as investors to simply maybe invest into 2 or 3 sectors? For example, we might assume that pharma sector is going to do well or automobile sector is going to do well. It could be any assumption. And would it be prudent for us as investors to maybe just invest in 2 or 3 sectors and not really focus on risk perspective or risk management from a very holistic perspective? So keeping that in mind, what exactly do we mean by risk management? This is a term that has been used for a variety of things, and this is a term that we have heard way too much in the markets. But yet we know that most investors simply tend to ignore it because of our own inherent nature to want to take risky positions. So risk management basically means diversifying into not only different stocks, but into a variety of different sectors and also different asset classes. For example, if let us say today, I'm an investor and I want to start my portfolio journey or I want to start my investing journey. Apart from just picking out 5 or 6 stocks, which I feel are going to do well, it would make a lot more sense to diversify it into maybe 3 or 4 different sectors to start off with, and also add things like maybe products like gold, or diversify it into debt-based instruments like liquid Bs and so on, to keep the entire portfolio healthy and hedged against each other. So what do I mean by hedged? For example, hedging basically refers to the portfolio being able to protect itself when one instrument is going down the other instrument is expected to do well. So a portfolio which is constructed like this has an inner nature to protect itself during different volatile market conditions. So this is a concept that most of us as investors have tend to skip. And what we are going to discuss today is more or less related to how risk management plays a very huge role in designing portfolios. Then the third one has always been systematic investing. So we have heard this many times again. SIP karna hai humko. We have to go ahead and start investing during different market cycles. But yet, if we look at our own way of investing, the way that we have gone about doing it so far, most of us tend to just buy in a lump sum amount, one or two stocks and just tend to hold it. Worse, some of us might even get into intraday trading. And no matter how much we try to tell ourselves that intraday trading is going to work for me, data clearly shows that it doesn't work for anybody. So that is again something that we will be discussing as to how to go about, setting up a systematic investing plan for yourself to generate long-term wealth. And the next, of course, is naturally going to be selecting the right set of stocks and ETFs and avoiding a lot of junk stocks that have managed to somehow list themselves into BSE and NSE these days. So if we follow these four criteria without question when we are designing a portfolio, these are the four checklists that we need to have. The first checklist that we need to have is not how strong is this stock going to perform, or what is the kind of return expectation that I have towards XYZ stock that I'm going to perform. Usually investors start from that perspective and it never ends well for them. So having these four set of rules when we go about constituting a portfolio is what is actually going to keep the portfolio healthy in a very, very long run. So now, with this said, let us take a look at what small cases are. So many of you might have heard of this term. A lot of you have come to this session today too, because you've heard of this term somewhere. So small cases are nothing but just a basket of stocks. Now, what are these baskets of stocks basically built upon? So they are designed using a particular idea or a theme or a strategy. So who basically creates these kind of small cases? So tomorrow, can I wake up and can I just build a portfolio of, let us say, 5-6 stocks and call it a small case? No. So small cases are basically designed by SEBI-registered SEBI-registered professionals. So what do I mean by SEBI-registered professionals? For those of you who don't know, the Indian stock markets is governed by a governing body called as SEBI, which stands for Securities Exchange Board of India. So SEBI gives out licenses to entities which are into basically a portfolio curation. So these kind of licenses are RIA license, that is Registered Investment Advisor license. Then we have RA license, which is a Research Analyst license. Then we have PMS license, which is Portfolio Management Services. So any particular entity or any particular, if it's an individual and if the individual is really good, then SEBI sometimes gives out individual licenses also. So any particular entity or any particular person who has an RA, RIA or a PMS license can come onto the small case platform and request us to be able to list and design their portfolios. So that is the concept of a small case. So as of today, if you see, small cases, also called as Kotak baskets, are available on the Kotak platform. And you can see more than 30 plus portfolios listed just on the Kotak platform itself, which have been designed on a variety of different ideas and themes. We will be taking a look at what these ideas and themes are by heading over to the platform and taking a look at it very shortly. So what are the advantages that we can think of immediately compared to buying one or two single stocks in our portfolio? So the first, so some of the similar things between small cases, buying a small case and buying or investing in a single stock is direct ownership of stocks, which means when you use your Kotak account to basically go and buy one single stock, this stock basically comes to your demat account. Similarly, when you invest in a small case, this small case, like we discussed, is made up of multiple stocks. All these stocks also come to your demat account only. There is no difference between buying a single stock individually or buying 2-3 stocks individually versus going and buying an entire small case basket. So it is one and the same. And the second similarity is cost efficiency. There is no management fee. So you don't have to pay any management fees when you do your own research and buy your own stocks. Similarly, for Kotak baskets or for small cases, there is no such thing. And again, normal things are transparency, complete control. That is, you own your set of portfolios. You can do what you wish, with your basket. All of those are similar to small cases and versus buying single stocks. Also, one important concept where it is similar is with respect to lock-in periods. So here, under lock-in periods, we can see that this is a liquid instrument with no lock-ins. So generally, when you tend to go for any sort of portfolios that are available in the markets, you generally tend to have some sort of lock-in period. And if you try to get out within the lock-in period, you face an exit load. So those kind of charges don't exist on the platform. Then now let us talk about where the differences are. So small cases naturally is a diversified basket, which comes with a different exposure to with an exposure to different set of sectors and stocks. Whereas when you purchase one stock or 2 stocks, you're not really being able to diversify yourself. And when you buy 1 or 2 stocks, what is the one key problem that you're going to face? You really have no idea how the stock is going to perform. But when you purchase or when you invest in a small case, basically, I will be showing you how that works. When you invest in a small case, you get to know how the small case is expected to perform during different market conditions. I'll be showing that with a live example. And when you purchase single stocks, usually it's not backed by any sort of research whatsoever. Small cases are backed by solid research by SEBI registered professionals themselves. So these are some of the important features of small cases. Now, let us talk about some additional benefits of small case investing. So these are some things that I will be showing you naturally. You can track the small cases performance. So small case is nothing but a portfolio, right? So you will be able to track the portfolio's percentage change on a daily basis. You will be able to track its CAGR, that is compounded annual growth rate. How much of a return is it giving on a year-to-year basis? You will be able to track news of specific stocks only listed in that particular basket. So all of us today head over to Money Control, head over to Mint, Business Standard, and a variety of other places to figure out if any of our stocks are getting affected because of new news inputs that are coming in the markets. But with a product like or with an investment like small case, basically you have the ability to focus only on news that comes out or that is specific only to the set of sectors or stocks that you own. So that makes it easier for you to monitor your basket. Apart from that, you can track, as you can see here, the minimum investment amount that you require in order to be able to start your investment journey. You'll be able to track the past performance, the most important feature on the platform, where you will be able to analyze and understand to what degree your portfolio has performed better than an index. For example, like Nifty 50 or Nifty 100 and so on. Then apart from all these features, which are brand new in the market, and these are some features that you don't generally get anywhere else, you get to the second feature that you can see is the invest more feature. So what do we mean by that? At any point of time, if you've already invested in a small case and you want to invest more in that particular small case, it is a 100% hassle-free process where you just have to log into the platform, click on invest now, and your investment happens in less than 5 clicks. So it is as simple as that. And it should not take you more than 1.5 minutes to invest more into your particular portfolio. We'll be showing all that right now. Then rebalancing. So the next important concept is called as rebalancing. What do we mean by that? So generally, if you see, let us say today you decide to pick up or you decide to create your own portfolio. So you open your Kotak Securities trading and demat account and you say that you want to invest in 4 different stocks. Let us say I'm going to do it as an investor. Generally, what tends to happen are 2 things. One is, in spite of me adding 5 or 6 stocks into the basket and creating my own portfolio, we have a term called itchy fingers in the markets. So itchy fingers, we have all been there at one time or the other, and we have faced the consequences of it. Itchy fingers basically means your urge to want to day trade these kind of stocks or get in and out of stocks as and when you start seeing news or you start speculating or you start or you see a 2% growth or a 5% growth in a stock and you want to knock it off. So those are called, that attitude is called as an itchy finger attitude. Either investors get into the itchy finger attitude, or if they've curated their own portfolio, they completely forget about it and they don't log in and monitor for years together. So if some stocks are not doing well, or if some sectors have received new specific things and that sector itself is not expected to do well in the long run, at that point of time, both these kinds of strategies is eventually going to fail. So we need to take a middle path. So what is the middle path that smallcase has enabled in terms of a rebalance? Every portfolio or basket, Kotak basket that has been created on the platform is being monitored by a SEBI registered entity, right? Now, this SEBI registered entity is going to monitor this portfolio either once in a quarter or once a month or once in a year, or it could be once in half a year also. So whenever they feel that some stocks need to be removed because it's unhealthy and some more stocks need to be added in its place to make the entire basket healthy, they will be able to do that through a process called as rebalancing, where let us say there are 10 stocks, they will be removing 3 stocks and adding 3 more stocks on a very specific predetermined date. So this concept of keeping the portfolio healthy in the long run is called as a rebalance. And this feature is unique only to a platform like smallcase. Then the other benefit is we have now enabled SIPs. So SIPs are the best way to go ahead and invest. So if you wish to start your SIP journey and start building your portfolio, that is also available on the platform with Kotak. So now let us try to take a look at some advantages of small cases. The first advantage is, as we all know, they've been designed by SEBI registered professionals who have been doing this for a very long time and who have a very successful track record of doing it. Usually, those entities or those individuals who come to the platform and design their portfolio have already been doing this for about 10 years, 20 years, and so on. And all of them have previously had their PMS business running on the side and so on. And they viewed smallcase as an additional platform for them to come and offer the same kind of portfolio. So you will be able to see a lot of historical backtesting and a lot of portfolio performance for many years before actually wanting to go ahead and invest. So you have that security available on the platform. Apart from that, as you can see, there are 30 plus strategies and ideas to choose from on the Kotak Securities platform. And you can always compare the performance with your preferred benchmark index, whichever index you want to compare it with. It could be Nifty 50, it could be asset classes like inflation, it could be different indexes. Everything is available. And you can start your journey with a very low ticket size. For example, something like 3,000 rupees, 5,000, 10,000. We have portfolios starting from different minimum investment amounts. And we can explore from a wide array of free small cases, which basically means for almost 95% of the small case baskets that have been listed on the Kotak platform are completely free of charge. And we will also see that Kotak Securities research team has managed to design their own portfolios, which they have again, these portfolios or these baskets are exclusive only to the Kotak platform. And basically they have kept these baskets free of cost for investors to go ahead and invest in. And some of the other benefits are you can set up SIPs, there are no lock-in periods, no exit loads and so on, which we have already discussed. So now moving on to one of the exciting parts, that is how do I as the client or how do we as users go ahead and invest in small cases using our own Kotak Securities trading and demat account. So to do this, first we'll have to head over to the Kotak Securities main portal, that is kotaksecurities.com. Over here, under products, if you head over to products, you will see something called as value added features. So under value added features, you will be able to see ACE portfolio, in brackets, you have small case, and you will also be able to see stock basket return over here. In brackets, you can see small case. So click on stock baskets. Please ensure that you've logged in when you're doing this. And now you have managed to successfully head over to smallcase.kotaksecurities.com. So this is a microsite of smallcase within the Kotak platform itself. So over here, the first step that we need to do is find out what portfolios are available. To do that, we can click on Discover here. This is the second option. And we can click on All Small Cases. Basically, this shows us the list of all the small cases that are available. Now, what you can see on the screen are all the list of portfolios which have been designed with a different specific idea or a theme in the market. For example, we have something called as Abacus Smart Premier League. We have Global Power Play. We have Daily Essentials Basket, Early Bird Assorted Basket, Suraksha Basket, BFSI, Kuber Basket, and so on. So before we get into the details of the kinds of portfolios available, let us first try to understand what a small case portfolio looks like or what a Kotak basket looks like. And we'll try to figure out basic elements that we can see on the platform. So every time you click on any Kotak basket of your choice, Kotak basket and small cases mean one and the same thing. Anytime you click on a basket of your choice, the name of the basket will be visible over here. So here it says that the name of the basket is Kuber basket. And below this, in one single line, you will be able to find out what this basket basically does. So here it clearly states that we invest in a basket of high dividend stocks. And for those of you who wish to understand more about a particular basket, you can come to the overview section. So in the overview section, you will be able to see why you should go ahead and think of a basket like this. So here you can see that this portfolio has been designed to maximize dividends received from PSUs and from high dividend paying companies. This is meant for long-term investors because dividend returns are an additional return apart from the price gain that happens in this portfolio. So it provides kind of a regular source of additional income to those who have invested in these kind of baskets. So this is what the overview section clearly states. You can see who, if you wish to check who has created this particular basket, you can have a look at it over here. So here it clearly states that this has been created by Kotak Securities. So we know that this particular basket has been created by the research team at Kotak Securities. And now coming to one of the most important elements, that is performance. So if you can see the screen right now, what we are able to see is the live performance of this particular portfolio with respect to an index. For example, if we take a look at the Kuber basket, when we scroll down, we will be able to see two graphs. One is the blue graph and the other one is the yellow graph. So the blue graph basically represents the small case that we are talking about, or the Kotak basket that we are talking about, which is Kuber basket. And the yellow line will represent an index. For example, it could be equity large cap index, it could be equity small cap index, and so on. It really depends on the composition of this particular portfolio. If Kuber basket is made up of a lot of small cap stocks, the system will intelligently choose equity small cap to compare it with. If Kuber basket is made up of large cap stocks, the system will go ahead, calculate it, and make sure that the comparison is happening with equity large cap index. So the system is that intelligent to decide which small case to basically go ahead and invest in. Now, what we are able to see is what would have been the value of every 100 rupees that we had invested since this portfolio went live. So if we click on the live button here, and if we head over here, in the small basket, that in the small box that I'm able to move around, you will be able to see Kuber basket 100, equity large cap 100, and below that, you will be able to see something called as on March 12th, 2020. So what this is basically showing is the date on which this particular basket has been made live for client investments. So this has been made live about roughly 2 years back. And since 2 years, every 100 rupees invested in the Kuber basket would have become 174 rupees, whereas every 100 rupees invested in the equity large cap would have become 169 rupees. So it's as simple as that. And this graph is showing investors that particular calculation. Apart from this, if you want to calculate the performance of a basket with respect to any other index or anything else you have in mind, you can click on this drop down over here. So if you want to compare it with Nifty 50, you can click on equity and you will be able to compare it with Nifty 50 over here. If you want to compare it with FD, inflation, and so on, that particular metric will be available over here. Similarly, if you wish to find out the list of stocks that you're going to get by investing in any basket, what you can do is click on stocks and weights. By clicking on stocks and weights, you are able to see all the list of sectors that this particular basket is taking exposure to. So you see a pie chart here, right? So the pie chart basically shows different sectors. For example, power sector has 33% weightage, oil and gas sector has 44% weightage, metals has 11% weightage, and coal has 11% weightage. So that is what the pie chart is basically showing. Apart from that, the list of stocks will be available over here. So for example, in the power sector, we are doing our investments into NTPC, Power Grid, and NHPC. And in oil and natural gas, we are basically picking up stocks like Petronet, GAIL, ONGC, and IOC. And in metals, we have VEDL, Vedanta. And in coal, we have Coal India Limited. So all these set of stocks will be mentioned here in advance so that you as investors or future investors will be able to instantly know what you are going to invest in. And even the portfolio composition will be mentioned here. For example, here it clearly states that NTPC has 11% weightage, Power Grid has 11% weightage, Petronet has 11% weightage, and so on. So basically, this is an equibalanced portfolio where you're investing in a variety of stocks with all of them having more or less the same percentage weightage. And if you scroll down, you will be able to see the market cap distribution also. For example, large cap has about 77% weightage in this portfolio, and small cap has about just 22% weightage. Sorry, mid cap has 22% weightage, and small cap has literally no weightage. It has zero weightage in this particular basket. None of these stocks are small cap stocks. So that is what we are able to see on the screen. So I hope things are becoming clearer to the investors who have come today to attend the session. Now, how do we figure out what is the amount required to start our investment in baskets like this? So you can see that under minimum investment amount over here. So for every small case, the minimum investment amount will be different and the minimum investment amount will change day to day. Why does it change? Because if you see the basket, if you see the list of stocks, each of these stocks will have a current market price. And the current market price of these stocks will be changing with time. In fact, it will change minute to minute. So because of that, the minimum investment value or the minimum investment amount will also naturally change a little bit over here and there. But that price fluctuation is very marginal. And you will also be able to see the list of quantities that you will be able to buy and the overall percentage weightage that each particular stock holds in the particular portfolio. So this is how you can see the minimum investment amount and figure out whether this particular basket is something that you like investing in. Now, let us try to take a look at some other baskets that have been, that have been existing on the platform. So we have another basket called, I'm taking random examples here, called Early Bird Assorted Basket. And here, the exposure is being taken to banking and telecom sector, banking, insurance, and telecom sectors. So you can readily see that over here. You can see the 2-year CAGR here. CAGR stands for compounded annual growth rate, which means 2-year CAGR basically means this portfolio has been live for 2 years. And in these 2 years, every year on an average, it has given approximately 42% return. This is what it means. So if you, and you will find details about why you should invest in this particular basket over here. And if you scroll down, you will be able to see the performance of the portfolio there. So this, before the launch, it is historically backtested performance. After launch, it is real life performance. So if you want to see only live performance, you can click on live performance and you can take a look at that readily. So if you want to take a look at stocks and weights, again, you can click on stocks and weights and take a look at it. So similarly, you can go ahead and basically try to choose from a variety of baskets to figure out which one suits your investment requirement. Now, the other thing that we have done on the platform is for you as investors to be able to segregate portfolios or segregate baskets based on your requirement. So let us say you are looking for starting your investment journey within 5,000 rupees. For example, let us say that is the case. In that case, under investment amount, you can head over to the left side. Under investment amount, you can click on under 5,000. So when you click on that, you will be able to see only small cases where the minimum ticket size starts from under 5,000 rupees. Similarly, if you wish to see small cases under 25,000, you can click on under 25,000 and the system will display all those small cases which have been listed with under 25,000 of ticket size. So I hope it is becoming clearer to all the investors who have come today. If you want to start your investment journey with a slightly higher amount, click on under 50,000 and you will have those kind of portfolios visible. So that is how you can use the investment amount filter to segregate small cases based on your minimum ticket size requirement. Apart from that, the most important feature that we have for you is volatility. So we spoke about risk in detail. So how is it that you as investors will be able to choose a basket based on whatever risk you are willing to take? So that comes under volatility. Volatility means the amount or the degree to which the portfolio fluctuates with market conditions. So if you click on low volatility, basically you will be able to see small cases which have been categorized as low volatility small cases. So over here, you will find exposure to those kind of baskets where the basket is not expected to fluctuate too much with market condition. For example, if we take a look at any one of these particular small cases, you will notice that even during the March 2020 COVID crisis, when the index had corrected by 35%, this particular basket, that is all-weather investing, had not corrected along with the markets, and it gives a very stable kind of performance. So this is because it takes exposure into gold, it takes exposure into debt, equity, and so on. So it's a kind of a very diversified basket, and it protects itself under different market conditions. So for those of you who wish to explore low volatility portfolios which don't fluctuate too much with market conditions, click on low volatility. For those of you who wish to segregate portfolios which are high risk, high reward, at that point of time, click on high volatility over here. You will be presented with those small cases which are expected to perform well, really well if the market performs well, and the portfolio is also expected to be volatile when the market conditions are turbulent. So if you're comfortable taking exposure to those kind of portfolios because you're a long-term investor with a 10-year, 15 years vision, then at that point of time, you can click on high volatility baskets. If you want to take the middle path in neither of these, you can click on medium volatility. If you have a specific investment strategy in your mind, for example, let us say you want those kind of baskets, which are high dividend baskets because you like getting dividends. In that case, under investment strategy, click on dividends. So over here, you will be presented with those kind of small cases where you will be, the exposure will be to high dividend paying stocks, which will pay you a good amount of dividends because you've invested directly into those kind of stocks. Similarly, if you wish to take your investment path into, for example, something like a thematic investment, then at that point of time, you can click on thematic here and you will find plenty of different themes over here. For example, we have something called electric mobility, where we invest in those kind of stocks which are set to benefit if the demand for electric vehicles increases in India. Then rising rural demand is a kind of basket where we invest in those kind of companies which have a very strong foothold in tier 2, tier 3 cities in India. So consumption we did a webinar last week where we spoke about consumption in rural India. So if you take a look at that, rural India has a 1.5x consumption for goods and services compared to urban India. So if somebody wants to take a part in that kind of a theme, rising rural demand is present over here. Then we have something called Transporting India, where we invest in logistics-based companies. Then we have something called Great Indian Middle Class, where we invest in those companies which middle class Indians prefer, because the population of middle class Indians is expected to double very soon. Then we have affordable housing and so on, where we invest in those companies which are taking a part in building affordable homes, because that is also going to be a theme that is going to play out later. So similarly, there are a variety of different themes also available. So if you want thematic portfolios, you can click on thematic portfolios. If you wish to take part in sector-based investing, then you can click on sector over here, and you will find different sectors. If you want to take part in real estate sector, then we have the realty sector here. If you want to take part in insurance sector, we have insurance tracker. You have IT, banking, metal, infra, pharma, auto, FMCG, energy, and so on. So different kinds of, I wouldn't like to elaborate too much on all the investment strategies because there are too many strategies available, but I've highlighted some of the key ones that are usually preferred. So these are the kind of strategies also available to you as investors who are holding their Kotak Securities, trading in demat account. So if you wish to segregate small cases based on Kotak baskets based on returns as a criteria, what should you do at that point of time? You can come to the sort by feature over here, click on sort by, and select any time period of your choice. For example, let us say that you as investors want to invest in a basket which has been around for 5 years and where you want to invest in those kind of baskets which have given the best performance in the last 5 years. In that case, you can click on 5 years over here and you will find all the list of baskets mentioned here. For example, IT Tracker has managed to give the highest return in the last 5 years, which is closely followed by a portfolio called Realty Tracker, which is also closely followed by a portfolio called Dividend Aristocrats. So the names will marginally keep changing depending on market conditions, but these are some of the lengthiest portfolios that have been available on the platform. So here you can see the 5-year returns as 306%, 5-year return as 171%, and so on. Similarly, if you want to do it for 3 years, you can click on 3 years and you will be displayed those kind of portfolios where it has given the highest amount of return in the last 3 years. You can also click on the basket, head over here and click on live performance, and you will be able to see the live performance of the basket against its respective index. So this is how you can use the sort by functionality to figure out the best small cases according to returns. So you can even click on 1 year return over here. You can even click on 6-month return and even as much as 1 month return. So that is how you can go about segregating small cases based on investment requirements as an option. So I hope that the audience today is clear on what small case baskets are and how investors can go ahead and select the basket of their choice. So what I'm actually going to do next is basically try to invest in a basket of our choice. So for this example, I'm going to take something like a Kuber basket. So as we can see, these are the list of stocks available. I've logged into my Kotak Securities trading and demat account. So now the first thing to ensure is that the minimum investment amount is present in our Kotak account. So the minimum investment amount gets debited from the Kotak account and the stocks will get credited to your demat. So once we ensure that 3,305 is available, please click on invest now. So over here, you will be given two options, either a monthly SIP or a one-time investment. So you can go for a one-time investment if you want to make a one-time lump sum investment. You can either go with the minimum ticket size that is available on the screen that the system has chosen depending on the current market prices, or what you can do is increase it to any number of your choice. For example, let us say you want to test this portfolio with 15,000 of capital. So you can click on 15,000 here. You can click on confirm amount, and then you can click on invest now and confirm orders. So once you do this, all these set of 9 stocks, market orders will be placed. So I'm using a demo account here because the markets are closed right now, but this is exactly how you will experience it even during live order placements. So within 5 to 10 seconds, all the stocks will be purchased and you have now managed to successfully become an investor in this particular basket. So if you wish to track your investments, you have to click on investments over here and scroll down. So under your satellite investments, you will be able to see the baskets that you have invested in. For example, right now we invested in Kuber basket. So if you click on Kuber basket, you will be able to see all the list of stocks, the current market price, the average price at which it was bought, the percentage change in returns, the weightages, and the shares that came into your trading and demat account. all this will be visible right over here. And if you at any point of time as clients, if you wish to invest more in these baskets, very simple. You can just log in using your Kotak account, come to investments, scroll down, click on Kuber basket, click on invest more, and then the minimum ticket size to invest more into this particular basket will be displayed here. So if you wish to increase that amount, you can feel free to do that. If you want to go ahead with the same amount that is displayed, you can feel free to do that as well. So let us say you want to increase your amount by 5,000. You can click on 5,000, click on confirm, invest more, and confirm orders. Again, you will have to wait for a period of 5 to 10 seconds till all these orders get placed. And once that is done, it will show, right. So now you can see that all the orders have been filled. So here you can see that topped up, you have invested 5,000 more into this particular small case. So it's clearly visible. So when you click on see investments right now and head over to your basket, you will be able to see that the current value of your investment has increased to approximately 20,000 rupees. Now, we understood how to invest more into a particular basket. Now, what if you wish to start your own SIP? It's quite a simple process. On the right side, you under more actions, you have start SIP feature here. So you can click on start SIP. You can select any SIP date, future date of your choice. In this case, I'm choosing Feb 28, which will be the salary day for most of us, because it'll be easier to start an SIP or set up an SIP on that particular day. And we can select any frequency of our choice. So there are four frequencies available for most of the portfolios. For some portfolios, there will be 2-3 standard frequencies. Generally, you will find weekly SIP available, option available, fortnightly, that is once in 2 weeks. Then we have monthly, once in a month, and quarterly, that is once in a quarter. So you can select any SIP frequency you want. Minimum SIP amount will be mentioned here. You can increase it or leave it at this particular stage. You can click on review orders, start SIP, and continue. Just by doing this, your SIP has also been fully set up. Now, you have managed to invest more, do a one-time investment, invest more, and also set up an SIP in this particular basket. Now, the next question I know that most of you will have is, what if I don't like, I personally as an investor, what if I don't like one or two stocks in this particular basket? What do I do at that time? So not to worry, you have complete control over your basket. So if you feel like one or two stocks is not as per your research, or you do not like it personally, at that point of time, you will be able to see something called as a manage button over here. So you can click on manage button, and all the list of stocks that are available and their quantities available will be mentioned over here. So if you want to reduce a particular weightage, for example, let us say you want to take less exposure to Petronet LNG. So you can click on the minus button here and decrease the number of stocks that you hold. If you want to completely remove it, you can click on the minus button till it becomes 0, confirm the changes over here, click on manage small case, and confirm orders. So once you do that, Petronet LNG as a stock will be completely removed from your basket. So now if you head over to your investments, you will not be able to see Petronet LNG. So now you will also be able to track the system will start tracking your returns from that point onwards, as though Petronet LNG is not in your particular basket. So as you can see, there are this is a quite a comprehensive platform where basically you can invest in a variety of portfolios or variety of strategies designed by SEBI registered investors. But unlike some products in the markets which restrict you from leaving that particular product without an exit load, or paying a hefty amount of entry load, or restricting whether or not you can modify stocks into that portfolio, all these solutions are available on smallcase as a platform within the Kotak ecosystem. So with that said, let us now try to understand how we as investors can curate our own basket if we want to. So for all of you who have questions, please feel free to post it in the chat box. I will be in the questions box. I will be able to take up these questions at the end of this particular session. Please do not feel restricted at any point of time. You can feel free to ask any question, no matter how small or big it is, because in the future, if you do want to make your investments, things should be very clear to you. So if we as investors want to curate our own basket, at that point of time, next to discover, you will find something called as create option over here. So what you can do here is, before you create a small case, you can give the name, you can give any name to your small case because you are designing this particular small case. So for example, if I want to design a small case right now, looking at the market condition, I'm going to name my small case as balanced small case fund, something like this. And in the overview section, you can write a detailed description of what was the philosophy behind why you had designed this, because many a times we may put stocks, but originally after 6 months we might have completely forgotten the strategy. So this box is given for you to choose whatever strategy you want. So for example, in this, I clearly states that I want to invest in high growth companies, and apart from that, take exposure to debt and gold, or something like this. And then you can even put your own image of any small case that you want. You can take the image from anywhere and put it over here by clicking on change image. Then you can click on done, and the name of the small case has been designed. So then you can directly go and start putting in stocks into this particular basket. For example, I'm going to take very random examples here. These examples are the stocks that you want to choose is completely up to you. So the first stock that pops into my mind is something like Adani Enterprises. So I'm going to choose Adani Enterprises over here. Then I'm going to actually choose a bank like Kotak Bank. And then I'm going to choose another stock, for example, something like Tata Motors. And now I'm going to take more exposure into my portfolio into things like gold ETF, because I want exposure to gold, because gold is a very stable instrument. And also something like liquid bees, because liquid bees provides a very standard kind of, it gives a very standard rate of return. So we have added 5 stocks into our portfolio right now. So a small case can start with a minimum of 2 stocks or 2 ETFs and can go as high as 50 set of stocks. So once you have done this, in this random example, I'm going to keep it at 5 and not more than that. So here, when you do this, the system will automatically calculate the minimum investment amount over here. And now, if you want to check your portfolio performance, you can click on the performance option over here. So the blue line shows the small case and the yellow line shows the equity index. So here we can see the performance of this particular basket against the equity index in the last 1 year. The system is automatically calculating that. Now, what if we want to change the weightage? So here we can see that the weightage is at 20% continuously. You can see that over here. So if you wish to modify weightage at that point of time, what you can do is, let us say, for example, you wish to increase your weightage to gold ETF because of some, because you view gold as a asset class to be invested in right now, looking at geopolitical tensions that are happening out there. So if you consider it as a safe investment, you can click on the plus button here and increase your exposure in gold. And automatically the system will start calculating recalculating the portfolio's performance in the last 1 year. And similarly, if you want to decrease it for a particular stock, for example, let us say you want to decrease your exposure to liquid bees, you can click on minus over here. So when you do this, again, the composition is changing. So the minimum investment amount is also changing and the portfolio performance is also changing. So once you have done this and you've selected your list of stocks, you've selected the overall weightage and so on, you can click on Save Draft. So when you click on Save Draft, you have managed to successfully curate your own small case basket. So it here says that it's a balanced small case fund where you're investing in high growth companies and taking exposure to debt and gold. And the returns will be calculated since February 25th, which is today. And the minimum investment amount is 17,842. So now that is visible over here, and the index value starts from 100 rupees. It starts from a 100 value calculation. So now if you wish to invest, process is one and the same. You can click on invest now. You can either start a monthly SIP or a one-time investment. You can click on one time. You can click on confirm, invest now, confirm orders. So if you do this, all these 5 set of stock orders will be placed at the current market price, and the orders will get executed within about a maximum of 10 seconds. So you can now see that all the orders have been filled. If you click on see investments and scroll down, now we can see that we have managed to successfully invest in a fund that we ourselves created, which is called as a balanced small case fund. And you can see the list of stocks here, current market price, average buy price, returns, weightage, shares, and so on. If you want to edit it, simple. You can click on manage over here and edit it. Whatever you edit here will directly get reflected in your Kotak trading in Demat account. So this is all about small cases and how you can go about curating a small case, how you can go about building your own stock basket, and so on. So some of the advantages of curating your own particular basket is, first one, complete control over your own strategy. So you get to decide which strategy you want to invest in. So that is always with you. You can decide to change the strategy according to any market condition if you feel like doing it. As we saw, you can modify and assign portfolio weightage of your own choice. Maximum allowed stocks is 50, which is quite a lot. You should not ideally diversify your portfolio into more than 15 stocks, because at that point of time, you will not be able to beat the index generally. It will try to mirror the index. So if you want to keep it, you want to keep it neither over diversified nor taking exposure to 1 or 2 stocks. So the sweet spot is somewhere around 10 to 15 stocks. Then again, even by creating your own basket, you can set up SIPs and you can invest more whenever required. Then, as usual, there are no lock-in periods and no exit loads because you have yourself created the small case, and there is no fee attached to building your own portfolio. So there will be at the time of investing, there will be 100 plus GST charge, which is 18 rupees. So it doesn't matter whether you start your investment with 5,000, 50,000, 1 lakh or 10 lakhs or whatever the amount is. There will only be a one-time charge of 100 plus GST. Apart from this, no charges will be levied whatsoever. Even for investing more, even for setting up your SIP, any amount you invest, it will, the first time you'll be charged 100 plus GST, post that you will not be charged anything. So this is all about small case as a platform. And we hope that the audience that has come today will probably become better investors going forward by taking a look at new products like small cases that have managed to come into picture. And some other statistics about small cases that all of you need to be aware of. Small case has, within the last 4 years, managed to have 50 lakh users on the platform. So that is the kind of traction that we got. And it has become quite a popular investment tool for especially new age investors who have started coming on board with this kind of a platform. So my humble request to all of you who have come to the session, if you have any queries whatsoever, feel free to start posting it in the question box that is available. I will be able to take up these questions instantly. All right. Okay. So the first question is from Akhilandan, who asks, can you please compare small case with mutual funds? So Akhilandan, we generally don't tend to compare small case products with any other investment vehicles that are out there, because it's an apples to orange comparison. So but if you want to know some of the differences, there are a variety of thematic portfolios like we saw, like electric mobility, the great Indian middle class, rising rural demand. We have plenty of sector-based funds which are very focused. These kind of portfolios or these kind of baskets can never be found in other asset classes that are out there for investments, because these are kind of portfolios which you can curate only on the small case platform. Then the second advantage is these are direct equity portfolios. So you own these stocks in your own trading and demat account. And some of the other advantages are basically there are only limited types of other instruments that can be created in the market according to regulations. But if you take a look at smallcase as a product, smallcase has no restriction whatsoever on what kind of stocks can be added and what kind of philosophies we can use to curate portfolios. So, and you cannot go ahead and curate your own, for example, mutual fund tomorrow, but you can go ahead and create your own smallcase tomorrow. Apart from that, many products out there have exit loads, 1% exit load and so on. Here we do not have that exit load. We do not have any lock-in periods of any sort whatsoever. So these are some of the additional advantages that you get by investing in products like Kotak baskets or small cases that are available. So there are questions coming about individual specific stocks. So we will not be talking about that because that is not the agenda of this particular session. So the next question is from Mr. Mohan, who says, so only SIP investment will benefit from rebalancing, or one-time investment will also be managed, modified at the same time of the next review? So that's a great question, Mohan. So both SIP and lump sum investment will have to go through a rebalancing. If you don't rebalance, you will be still remaining with the old set of stocks, and others would have rebalanced. So their portfolio's performance and your portfolio's performance will differ. So whether or not you have made an SIP investment or whether you have made a one-time investment is one and the same thing. There is absolutely no difference from a fund manager's point of view. So they go ahead and rebalance both both an SIP kind of investment and a one-time kind of investment. So the next question is from Ajit. What are the charges / hidden costs? How small case creators are getting benefited if no charges at all, as all you said? So great question, Ajit. So there are no hidden costs. All the costs is something that you can very well see, and I've already spoken about. There is 100 plus GST. So many small cases are free today. There are paid small cases, I'm not denying, but most of the small cases today are free right now, because we want more and more users to start interacting on the platform and start investing into free baskets to get a feel of how small case is beneficial for them. At the same point of time, since you're an account holder of Kotak Securities wants to provide its investors a set of baskets that they can invest in. So their research team goes through the pain of curating this particular basket. So the Kotak research team does not charge for the small case because they want their users to be flexible enough to go ahead and choose the small case baskets that have been designed for them. So that is the reason why many of these baskets which have been designed by Kotak research team does not have a charge attached to it. But yes, the brokerage charges is something that you will be paying depending on what brokerage slab you are under. You can reach out to your relationship manager who is assigned to you by Kotak, and they will be able to address these queries better for you. If you do not know who your relationship manager is or who your concerned dealer is, you can reach out to the customer support, the toll-free number that has been listed, and the customer support team will reach out to you and inquire with you and will assign a particular relationship manager who will be able to take care of your investment requirements. So the next question is, can you please guide path from Kotak account one? So I think that I've already done it, Bhaskar. You have to go to kotaksecurities.com. Under products, you have to go to the right side, value added services, in which you will find stock basket, bracket mein small case. So you can click on that. Okay, so the next question is from Shashi Thakur, who asks, self-made small case. I made a self-made small case, but I sold directly through the trading account. So will these stocks still reflect in my small case account? So Shashi, it is not recommended that you start your investment using the small case platform, but you exit by directly going to the trading and demat account and knocking off your position from there. If you do that, small case will not know that you have knocked off your position from there. We are coming up with a feature very shortly where we will start getting to know that also. But as of now, we will not have information that you have done that. If you do that, you can drop a mail to help@smallcase.com, or you can reach out to your Kotak Securities relationship manager. They will be able to rectify that on the back end for you, and that small case will no longer be visible. But I would recommend that you always come to the platform and exit from here. So thanks, Nandakumar. So the next question is, what are the charges? And this is from Mr. Paritosh. So I think I've clarified on this, Mr. Paritosh. Any small case you invest in, there will be a one-time upfront fee, irrespective of your investment amount. Whether you're starting with 5,000, 50,000, 1 lakh, 10 lakh, 50 lakhs, whatever it is, there will be only a one-time 100 rupees plus GST charge. That is 118 rupees in total will be applicable. After that, whether you set up your SIP, whether you invest more, whether you exit, whatever you do, no charges will be applied whatsoever. A brokerage will be applicable, but nothing else apart from that. So the next question is from Mr. Ranjan, who says, what about stamp duty charges and rebalancing charges? So stamp duty is a statutory charge applied by the regulators. So that is something that will be applicable whether you buy a direct stock or whether you buy a small case. So that will still be applicable. Small case is no exception to that. And with respect to rebalancing charges, like I said, rebalancing has no charges whatsoever. We do not charge to rebalance, and never will it be something like that on the small case platform. So rebalancing is to make sure that the fund manager is able to remove unhealthy stocks from the basket and add more healthy stocks into it whenever possible, so that the basket remains the basket's performance keeps is stabilized for over a period of time. So for something like that, we do not charge, and this you can take it that will never be a charge going forward. So it's completely free of cost. So the next one is from Subhash. If we create our own small case, is it still rebalanced by experts? No, Subhash, that will not happen, because the experts would have created their own small cases based on their understanding of the markets and their experience. So they will not interfere in your basket, and your basket's details will never be shared over there. Okay, so the next question is from Ajit. It's an interesting question. If we remove any stock from the small case, will the rebalance from the professional going to continue for that post, removing that one stock? So yes, Ajit, it will still continue. Even during the next rebalance, you will be asked to rebalance the portfolio according to the new set of stocks that have come in from that particular fund manager, and you will be asked to get rid of some stocks in your portfolio. If you have to get rid of some stocks, and if one of those stocks has already been sold by you, then not to worry, the remaining stocks will get sold. If you have sold one stock, but there are other stocks from which right now you're supposed to sell, then you can again go ahead and do that. And fresh new stocks will any which ways be added. So that complete control lies with you. And yes, rebalance will still continue, even if you go ahead and sell one or two stocks from your portfolio. There is nothing that is going to change going forward from there. So the next question is from Vivek. Will brokerage charges be applicable as per monthly investment basis? Yes, as and when. So brokerage charges will be applicable, Vivek, every time you transact on the platform. Every time you do your monthly SIP, whatever the brokerage charges are, which is, I'm sure, is a small number, so that will be applicable. So the next question is, I'm a frequent trader. Does my basket investment profile mix with the same set of stocks on a daily basis? So that's a great question, Vivek. As of this moment, if you head over to only your Kotak Securities account, you will find the holding statement displayed in such a way that the small case stocks are also mixed into that. But we are already working on a feature where very soon we are going to launch it, where small case will start showing as a separate holding statement. So not to worry, that is the top priority for small case, and we have already completed 90% of the feature integration. So very soon small case will start reflecting as a separate holding statement. Meanwhile, if you want to find out which stocks came because of a small case and which set of stocks came because of your own investment, what you can do is head over to smallcase.com, use your Kotak account to log in, and click on My Investments. Over there, you will find the list of stocks which are specific only to your small case investment. So I believe that with this, we have managed to address all the specific queries that have come in from the audience today. So I really thank the audience for taking their time out, coming to this particular session, and for showing attention to what small case as a concept is. So we hope that going forward, you will also be one among the 50 lakh users who have joined the small case platform. So thanks a lot for tuning into this session today. Thank you.